What's up, YouTube? This is my 2018 Chevrolet Silverado 2LT Z71. I always had a thing against blockheater cords hanging out the front of the truck, swinging around, scratching as you're driving. Obviously, I'm in Canada. Canadian winters, you can't go without a block heater. I've also wanted to add a battery blanket. Just helps with the cold starts and prolongs the life of your battery, of course. So I got myself a NOCO splitter plug-in, mounts right to the truck, and I usually scour YouTube and videos online to, whenever I do stuff like this, see what other people have done, get some ideas. Couldn't find anything for the Silverado. There's actually very few for the NOCO. Lots of guys seem to use them. I know they're pretty straightforward. It's nothing crazy, but you know, felt where people were mounting them, that sort of thing, on the outside of the truck. So couldn't find anything. Figured it out myself, and this is how I did it. Hopefully it'll help you out. All right, so this is the NOCO plug I got. It's a two-way splitter. Reason I went with the two-way, you can get them in a single, but I went with the two-way because I want my block heater and my battery blanket onto a single plug. So this is it here. See, two ends. I believe they're 18-inch extension on them. So I've searched around. I couldn't find anything really online for the Silverados where people have used these. So I had two choices, essentially, I thought. I didn't want to drill into any metal. So I was going to either go, if you go right down the middle of the front bumper up here, but I thought, you know, these Albertan Canadian winters might get plugged up with snow and stuff. This was the other spot here. So I opted for this because, again, nice and flat with it having this lip here. It's pretty solid. Yeah, I can get easy access. And the perk about this is I don't need to extend the block heater cord. All right, so in order to get the battery blanket on, I got to get rid of this cross member. It runs right across here just to make some room for me. So I've already got it started, but just thought I'd show you exactly where it is. And this consists of, there's 3 bolts. They come off with a 1/2-inch drive. Got one here on the edge, was there. One on this part right here, and then the other up top here. So you could just swing it around if you want, but it's easy. It's 3 bolts, just pop them right out of the way. Next thing we're gonna do, we're just gonna take the negative terminal off just to be safe. We're gonna be digging around back there. We don't want anything bad happening, so we'll get that disconnected. Okay, so we got our negative terminal disconnected. Let's just tuck that out of the way. And we'll need to remember when we get pissed off, because our truck won't start after, that we disconnected that. So let's grab the battery blanket, and we'll see if we can squeeze it in here. I got a feeling we're not going to be able to without taking all the battery stuff out, but only one way to find out. As I suspected, we're going to have to take the whole thing out. It's just going to be easier. I'm not going to piss around too much with it. So go ahead and get the battery out of here. All right, so once I got all this top stuff off here, disconnected the entire battery, loosened it off there's a bolt down here. I believe it's a 3/8 if I remember right. I was able to give the battery just enough wiggle. They're heavy. They're tough to get out of here. Gave me enough wiggle room to get the blanket around it. So that's in there now. You can see the cord I've just tucked up here kind of by the wipers for now, so I know where it is and I don't lose track of it. And yeah, next we'll get all this buttoned back up and start figuring out where we're going to run our wires. All right, got this buttoned up. If you can see, right here is the battery blanket. Now my thought is, conveniently, the coolant reservoir is right next to it, so this might help keep my coolant a little warm too, which will hopefully help it warm up quicker. But, if you see there, sorry, crappy angles, but there's the battery blanket on it. See the big arrows? I'm pointing up, pointing the right way. Cord's here. I'm going to run across. I've got some wire. I'm going to extend it right down there. You can see my block heater cord. We're going to run it down there, and I'll show you where we're going to run it through to the NOCO plug in a bit. It's right here. Dips down to the bottom and reaches the cord, no problem. So I've also taken, I'm basically making an extension cord waterproof cable I bought, and then you can see I've already plugged it in to where the battery blanket is, right down there. So if you look, battery's there with the blanket on it. There's the plug. That's the factory male end. I put a female end on. I'm gonna run it through here, across this brace, as we see here, and then it can dip down down there. So I've just dragged it through just to make sure I had clearance. There's nothing in there that's sharp or moving that's gonna get it caught up. I'm gonna leave it dangling there. Next step is gonna be to install the NOCO plug. So as per the packaging, 2-inch hole saw, and yeah, then there's basically 3 screws. My only concern about that is how sturdy it's going to be on the back. I know some guys I've seen have actually made like a plate to go on the back just to stiffen it up a little bit, but hopefully I don't need to do that. If I will, I'll start going after my welder friends to fab something up for me. This is the cover here. Goes on the plug. The cord just slides through here, goes on the back. It acts like a bit of a gasket as well. So I can use this just to figure out placement. That's what I did. I took it off. Again, it's not perfectly flat here, but it's good enough from what I've read from guys who've done this. Doesn't need to be in a perfectly flat surface, so this should do. So I'm gonna mark fine center on that, and that's where I have to drill my truck. Not gonna lie, I always get nervous whenever I'm drilling into my vehicles. So yeah, so we'll get a 2-inch hole saw set up, and hopefully only have to drill 1 hole. All right, so I decided, like I said before, this is where I want it. So I use this to mark. I found center on there, and drilled, just started my pilot hole just to make sure. Felt behind, nothing behind there that's gonna get in the way. All right, got my helper here with me. Center of my 2-inch hole saw is in the bumper in my pilot hole, and here goes nothing. Like I said, I hate drilling my vehicles, but fingers crossed. Boom, there we go. We got the hole. Okay, so hole's in there. Like I said, nothing was behind there, so sorry, this is tough to do with one-handed. I'm trying to hold a camera.
Daddy,
but
I fixed it.
Got the gaskets on the back, holes are lined up. And that's how she's gonna look. All right, so now we confirmed it's good to go. Just gotta take a bit of sandpaper. It's just some 180 grit I had laid around. Just get any burrs off the end here. Again, it's fairly soft. It's not gonna create any issues. I've seen some guys who have put these in other trucks. They use like a silicone behind here, kind of seal it. Don't really think that's necessary, but I guess in the future it's something I could add if need be. So now we gotta screw this thing in, mount it. So as I had it before, I had it, I was gonna put it in this way. And the reason is because the cord goes up. But I just noticed right before I was about to drill it in, if you look right here, that's a drain hole. So if any moisture and stuff gets in there, it doesn't collect, it actually drains out. So because of that, I'm gonna have to do it this way. Which again, isn't the end of the world, doesn't bother me. I got lots of room under there for the cord. It's not gonna get caught or drag or anything like that. So just something to be aware of. All right, so the plug comes with these self-tapping screws, look like a coarse thread. I'm gonna get these started and just leave basically a little loose, so like maybe 3 threads exposed, and then tighten it in by hand, just so I don't strip out the bumper. All right, so I got those drilled in. Sorry, I couldn't get that on video, just need 2 hands. So like I said, just put them in loose, just tighten them up now. Just hand tightening. I don't want to strip out those the bumper that it's screwing into. It's just plastic, right? So I don't want to push my luck here, so just tighten up. And again, I'll check them in a few days, and hopefully everything's good. Like I said, worst case scenario, I pop this off and put some silicone behind it just to be safe, but again, I don't think that's going to be necessary. There we have it. That's in place. Pretty slick. Wouldn't even notice it. So now just finish up the wiring and check this thing out. Picked a good day to do this. It was minus, I think 42. It's 42 or minus 42 or 47 Celsius this morning with the wind chill. Okay, so what I've done here, I've just made sure I took my block heater cord, dropped it down, fed it through to where the ends for the NOCO plug are. And there's plenty of room there. So what I'm going to do is with the new cable I've run, this one here, for my battery blanket, I know it can be, because they're coming from basically the same spot here, as long as it is as long as my block heater cord, I'll even add a little bit. That's where I need to cut it, put the end on it. And then it's just a matter of plugging them in. All right, so I got my ends on my cable, everything kind of tucked away. I've run them down through here. You can see, here's the two cables, and they go down kind of behind the driver's side headlight and the washer fluid jug. Got them dropped down in there. I didn't show it earlier in the video, but I removed the 3 bolts that take this piece of trim out. And then if you look behind here, a little tough to see. Let me see if I can find it for you. You can see that orange, that's my block heater cord, and the other cord's all back there. So now all I gotta do is plug those in, pull them up so they're all kind of nice and snug in place, and I will put some zip ties up top just to hold them in that location, and that's it. We'll button everything up. All right, so the wheel well liner is back in place. Cords are all connected. I've got an extension cord plugged in here. I just want to test it, see if the battery warmer warms up. No real way to tell if the block heater will run. Sometimes you can hear it, but I got my heater going in here and stuff. So I'll come around to the battery blanket. I can touch it easily, and we'll give it a couple minutes and see if it warms up. All right, so been plugged in for about 5 minutes. Can definitely feel the blanket warming up. So it looks like a success. Got everything buttoned back up. All the engine valance back in. You can see where my plug is back there. And just like I said before, guess what I forgot to do and went and tried to turn on the truck? The negative. So that's back on now. Everything's done. Pretty easy job all in all. Seems to be a success.
Assembly truck, so you always have to pay attention to it, and if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. And if just leave the hole if you already did it and you change your mind to not do it. So just leave the hole there. And if you don't want it, just leave it at the store.
I'm pretty sure that was the question all the viewers were asking, wasn't it?